What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of Screen Time. Today, we're going to be talking about School of Rock. Today I'm joined by, once again, Indiana's Pride and Joy, Michael Vincent.
That's me.
The chairman of the No Cussing Club, everybody's brother from another mother, Spenser Lyon.
Hey, brother.
Your child's future favorite dentist, Luke Robert.
With the fat delay.
And today, for the first time, my lovely girlfriend, Laurel 4, aka Betsy.
Hiff.
So yeah, like I said, we'll be talking about School of Rock. Wonderful film. Released October 3rd, 2003. Directed by Richard Linklater, who he's directed a few things. One of the more notable things that he's directed was Boyhood, which I had no idea that he directed Boyhood. Produced by Scott Rudin, who has produced, like, I looked at his Wikipedia page for things he's produced because I was gonna be like, oh, maybe I'll see like a few notable things. He's done a lot. Like, he produced Clueless. He produced like Pitch Perfect. He's produced like a ton of shit. It was written by Mike White, who played Ned Schneebly.
Yeah.
This is Ned Schneebly.
The budget was $35 million, and the box office was $131.3 million. I don't know how I love the movie. I've loved it since I was a child. How does everybody else feel about it?
It's definitely always been one of my favorites. I saw it in theaters with my dad. And I just remember we were just laughing so much the whole time.
Yeah.
Great time for sure.
It's definitely one of those movies that like if your parent took you to see it, like they could also very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a movie for the whole family.
It was also during peak like middle school, or wait, when was it? 2003. Okay, yeah, not middle school. Yeah, so it was like peak elementary school where like my dad was showing me all his like classic rock. So I'm like, oh yeah, the best music ever is like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and like all of like the soundtrack of that movie. I was just like, man, I'm an old soul and I'm 8 years old, and I just thought it was so good. And just great time.
Yeah,
I hate this delay; it's killing me, but whatever.
It's one of those movies everybody pretty much has like a childhood memory of. I didn't see it until I was probably in like middle school though. I like
That's
it.
a tragedy.
I just didn't see it when it came out in theaters with my family or anything.
Yeah.
Later.
I never saw it in theaters.
I saw it we were on vacation from
That's
our
awesome.
hotel room.
Heck yeah.
I don't
Like a year.
I don't know when I first saw it. I have a memory, and this could be wrong. I'll have to like ask my parents, but I'm pretty sure I got it like in my Easter basket one year. Like, I just got it as an Easter Easter present or whatever. Like, I just had School of Rock. I don't know if I had like asked for it, or if maybe my parents were like, this looks like something that we would enjoy. Like, that he might watch it 500 times like he did The Lion King. At least we can enjoy it.
The exact same thing happened to me, except with Fat Albert, starring Kenan Thompson. I got that for Easter.
Hey.
Yeah, I got that for Easter, and good movie.
I saw that one in theaters.
Yeah,
Never seen
same. It's a good one. It's a good movie. Has Bill Cosby, so don't watch it. But
Yeah, I used to watch that movie like all the time by myself in my room because even though we had like a ton of other movies to pick from, I was like, oh wow, I really like this movie.
That was the one, man.
Why would you pick any other movie?
Mr. Deeds is like pretty much the two movies I watched like 100 times.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
So we obviously all enjoyed it. Maybe we'll do a movie sometime that maybe we'll actually all not enjoy.
Yeah, like Last Airbender.
Not today. Yeah, maybe like Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll do that next week. Who knows?
Can't wait.
So I guess we can dive into a little bit of plot synopsis. I'm gonna try not to go as hard this week as I did last week. Try not to make this 3 hours long like Spider-Man was, but you know,
almost 2 hours.
It was a good time though.
It was like almost 3 hours.
Good time.
Pretty
You
sure.
know, it was whatever.
So the movie opens up with music playing, and like the credits are on like show posters and like the backs of jackets and stuff. And it's Dewey's band, No Vacancy. Right? Is that their name?
Yeah. Real band.
They're oh yeah. Is that like are those the actual members, or is it just like
it's like an
okay.
actual. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think the singer, at least the singer of it, was an actor. Because I watched that
Oh really?
Where Are They Now video, and he was in a couple other movies. He could have been like band member and actor.
Just like Jack
Yeah.
Black himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised. Like, obviously, when I was younger, I didn't know who Tenacious D was, but like watching this movie, I was kind of surprised that Kyle Gass doesn't just have some sort of like cameo in this movie at all. Like, but I guess it's not a Tenacious D movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's No Vacancies playing. Dewey, Jack Black's character Dewey Finn, he's shredding it, acting a fool. The lead singer's not having it. He looks very just over it. Dewey goes for a stage dive. No one catches him. Tragic.
Dies.
It transitions to him asleep in a bed. You hear two characters like arguing, like, oh, like, gotta wake him up, like get the rent or whatever. And it's so is the relation of Ned and Dewey, are they just friends?
Yeah, they're just
like, or
buddies.
is there like
Yeah.
okay. I couldn't remember if they were like related or if they were just like old
Just
buddies.
buds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in a band together.
Yeah. Maggot.
Maggot death. Yeah.
Maggot death.
Not the sex god anymore. Mike White he reminds me of the dude that played Toby in The Office.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
they
for
look
sure.
very similar. But yeah, so Sarah Silverman, aka Patty, and Ned are arguing about Dewey. Patty is Ned's a bit of a beta. Patty is very much the alpha in this relationship. She wants Dewey out. She's like, if you don't get the rent by the end of the week, you're kicked out. Ned says, maybe you should sell one of your guitars. And then he says, would you ask Picasso to sell one of his guitars?
It's a good one. It's a good one for sure.
Good one. But then we go to, you hear a band practicing, and Dewey's running up, and they replaced him with Spider.
Spider.
Who, what a guy.
He's so slithery.
Also, Spider. I was just looking up like the
Spider,
cast
Hour
of
of
the
the Nowhere.
movie later.
There it is.
Spider he's a district attorney for Tyler County in Texas, like in real life.
that's
Like
funny.
he's just like he's a whole ass district attorney.
So No
Like,
Vacancy probably isn't a real band then.
It is Spider at least.
With an actor and let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, now yeah, that's fictional rock band. I probably heard that when I was like 12 years old, and just for the rest of
I
my
feel
life.
like I've heard that they
Yeah,
were a
I
real
was like, oh,
band
it's a real
too,
band.
but maybe
So yeah,
I don't know.
win some, you lose
I've
some.
never heard that.
Yeah. So yeah, then he
gets kicked out.
he gets kicked out of the band, goes back home, and then he's like on the phone trying to sell one of his guitars. And then he that doesn't happen, and then the phone rings, and it's principal of a school looking for Ned. Dewey ends up pretending to be Ned and takes the job.
He's a substitute.
As a substitute teacher.
That's him.
As a temp.
A temp.
Yeah. He gets there and he's talking to the principal. He goes into the classroom, introduces himself. He goes to write Mr. Schneebly on the board and he can't spell it, and he just says, "Call me Mr. S." And then Miss Mullins asks him if he needs anything else, and he's like, I'm a teacher. All I need are minds for molding. Great line.
Mine's for
Then
like,
Miranda Cosgrove, aka Summer, before she's in Drake and Josh, before she was iCarly, this is her first role, I think. She was 10 years old. She starts to like, as class factotum, she gives she gives Dewey the rundown, and she points out the like gold star thing, and he like tears it down, and she has like a heart attack or whatever. Then he's like waiting for the end of the day. He like runs out. He's putting up like signs around town with like a phone number to call, and like two dudes make fun of him.
Make a new band.
Yeah, he's
Because
trying to
he
make a
got
new
kicked out.
band.
Really needs money.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Battle of the Bands. That's like the whole reason the whole movie exists, basically. So we go back to the apartment. Patty and Ned just basically just tell Dewey to give up on his dreams, just like Ned did. He's not the satanic sex god anymore. He's not, in maggot death.
maggot death.
Which the that picture that he shows, it's Jack Black, Mike White, who plays Ned, and the other guy is the director.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I guess they just like took that picture.
Mike White also did the screenplay for Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black.
Yeah. They do that. I think he did something else that Jack Black was in.
Probably.
Not sure. So I found out that apparently this movie was like, was inspired by, Mike White and Jack Black were like neighbors at one point. Like they moved into the same apartment complex or something, and like Jack Black was just like always just like being like crazy and like running through the hallways naked and shit, and just like being Jack Black. I guess they were just like actual like close friends in life too. So then we get to the next day at school. Dewey is just like not, he's just like chilling, sitting there, and then the kids are like, "Are you gonna teach us something?" And he's like, "Oh, you want me to teach you something? Just give up or whatever." And then we go into the classic man speech, like Miss Mullins, she's the man. And I think Laurel has a little anecdote for
So,
this part.
so one of my sophomore year, she had a public class, and from she chose Full of Rocks, the man speech. for
Incredible.
College
Incredible.
public speaking course.
Good speech.
And I'm jealous I never took public speaking. So
That's
proud that she
amazing.
did. Another one of my friends, after the man speech, at one point, Dewey says, "Man kidnapped Shimu and put him in a chlorine tank." My friend, until a good while we were in college, he actually believed that Shimu was kept in a world, just because she saw this movie when she was years old. So, lasting effects.
So he's giving his speech, and then Miss Mullins walks in and it's like, "Oh, it's after 10. The kids usually go to music class." So they go to music class. Dewey's like walking in the hallways and like hears them playing, and he goes and watches. He just like sees them play music, and does his little cool little eyebrow thing, and he gets an idea. Runs out to his car, gets all of his gear.
He has a lot of gear for someone who doesn't have any money.
Yeah, also like who
Yeah.
I didn't know that he just keeps like at least 2 or 3 guitars, a drum set, like
Got a lot.
all this stuff just in
Put it
the
together.
back of his van. Which I guess I've never been in a band. I don't know how maybe he just keeps that stuff in his band. But I wouldn't think that a guy that plays guitar in a band would have a drum set. But I don't know.
It's gotta be
They come to class and they're all like, what's going on? And he's like, "I saw you guys playing. Why didn't no one tell me?" He asks one of the kids what his name is. His name's Zach. And he's like saw him playing guitar, so he shows him. He's like, "You ever play electric guitar?" He's like, "No, my dad thinks it's a waste of time." Then he shows him some iconic guitar riffs. We get Iron Man, we get Smoke on the Water, and Highway to Hell. Classic riffs. Um, then he gets old Lawrence on the keyboard. He's like, "You ever played techno or anything?" He's like, "No." He's like, "That's fine." Then he gets him to play "Touch Me" by the Doors. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, touch me, babe.
Ba-da-ba-da.
And then
Freddie.
he gets yeah, Freddie Jones on the drums, Katie on the bass, and sideways, cello.
Did you talk about when he's like, "What's your name?" Freddie Jones. Freddie Jones, shut up. Did you talk?
Oh yeah,
It's one of my favorite parts. It's just so
Freddie
brutal.
Jones, shut up. Yeah, that's classic.
Oh my gosh.
And then he like, you know, he tells Katie to play like a note on the bass and just keep playing it, and then he gets Freddie to like do a little drum riff.
Immediately starts.
And then
going
they all
crazy.
play "Smoke on the Water." You know, classic. And he starts the rock band project. You know, they got to compete with all the. Doesn't start till next quarter, but he wants to get a leg up on the competition. You know, competing against what is it? They're like, are any of the other schools gonna be competing? He's like, you could say that.
Yeah.
There's like, can we tell your parents? No, you can't tell your parents. Don't tell anybody. They all try out, or the kids are like, oh, so we're not in the band. He's like, just because you're not in the band doesn't mean you're not in the band. And he's like, really backup singers.
Yeah, the kid that likes Puff
and-
Daddy's like, "You mean we're not in the band?
Puff Daddy.
We're not in the band."
Um,
Oh,
so
yeah, he's so sad
yeah,
when he
he's
said.
we're not in the band.
No.
Also, watching this as a child, it's like not problematic at all. Watching this back as where he's like, you can't tell your parents, you can't tell
Yeah.
anyone. This is secret. It's like
That
this is
Also,
it's terrifying.
One thing that's like, you know, obviously, I mean, it kind of relies on it, but like the child actors in this movie are all really good.
Yeah,
Like they're like,
good.
it's not like there's not really any like cringy like performances from any of
Yeah.
the kids. Like it's all like really good acting.
Honestly, it was more cringy watching.
Oh
when they
yeah.
all perform.
Saw that.
Yeah.
So Alicia and I don't know the other girl. Mousy
The one that
girl that
Aguilera.
sings. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sing. They both sing to be backup singers, and then Summer's like, I can sing, and you know, memory, all alone in the moonlight, which apparently, so Miranda Cosgrove actually can sing, and
yeah, have you ever?
How do I-
he
how
had
do
to,
one of her
apparently
songs
she
rock band?
took.
Yeah, have you ever heard her
Yeah.
hit song "Headphones On"?
Apparently she took a 45-minute like bad singing class to learn how to like sing
To not
badly.
be good because she's just naturally.
Because she actually can sing, which I thought was hilarious. So then they go to lunch. Or no, yeah, so we go to lunch, and then Lawrence approaches Dewey, and he's like, I don't think I should be in the band. He's like, I'm not cool enough. Which, you know, heartbreaking. And Dewey's like, you know, you could be the ugliest. What does he say? Like, you could be the ugliest mug on the planet, but as if you're in a band, everyone will love you or whatever. Bee's knees.
Yes.
And they do their cool little handshake. And then,
cool.
so apparently that scene was inspired because the guy that played Lawrence, like early in production of the movie, like went up to the director and was just like, I don't think I'm cool. I shouldn't be in this movie. Like, I'm not good enough. So
That
it was just like, that actually happened, which is funny.
I wonder if the
Oh yeah.
developed
I don't
after
know.
that, because you would think that a timid kid, like, yeah, the role of a timid kid would be perfect. What if he was timid and
Yeah.
like really outgoing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get to the classroom. Dewey's assigning roles and nicknames, which Jack Black actually came up with all of those nicknames like himself. What is he calls Zack Attack, Katie's Posh Spice,
Freddie
Spazzy
McGee.
McGee. Lawrence is like Mr. Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It was right after that.
Kamika is
Turkey
Turkey
Sub.
Sub, which is like so insulting.
Well, it's a
But
reference
I know,
to
yeah,
her
it's a
giving him
reference,
a turkey
but-
sub
love it, yeah.
earlier, but still, kind of. Brace face.
Yeah,
is
Brace face.
Alicia.
I don't. Yeah, and then there's they all just have like. I don't know if a lot of the other ones don't really have
Fancy pants.
fancy
Billy.
pants and Bill.
I love all of the nicknames.
Yeah, they're all great. He makes Summer and then two of the other girls groupies, and they're saying like, "Oh, you guys will like make T-shirts, like you'll just praise the band, and you'll name the band or whatever." And then, so I think that's the end of that, and then it cuts to the next. Summer
She's just
confronts
waiting
him.
there. She's like,
Like, I looked up what a groupie was. They sleep with the
"Sleep with the
band.
band."
Like, no. And then he's like, no, like I couldn't tell it in front of the other kids, but you'll be the most important job. You'll be the band manager.
We're good.
Luke just
No, keep going.
Luke just dove off the stage.
Sound like Jack Black.
So he asked them like all their favorite bands
He
or
wants
whatever.
to get the band.
Yeah, he wants to get inspiration. So he asked them their favorite bands. We get Christina Aguilera, Puff Daddy,
Puff
Liza Minnelli,
Liza Minnelli.
Oh, hey, I fixed my delay.
and then awesome.
Oh, nice.
None of them have ever heard of like any of the classic like rock bands that he lists, like Led Zeppelin, Motorhead.
Oh my god, I love Jack Black.
You guys have never got the lead.
You never got the lead out. Yeah, so good, so great. It's like, and then I don't know the teeth and the tongue tip
Tip of the tongue and the teeth and the
Yeah,
lips.
where does
like,
that come from?
it's after this part, but I don't remember like what he says before that.
Tip of the tongue and the
Oh,
teeth
it's
and the
when
lip.
he's getting ready when
Oh, they ask him to sing his song.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got a song.
and like warm.
Tip of the
Yeah.
tongue, teeth and the lips. And then he sings the classic "In the End of Time." Legend was written on the stone.
It's so good.
Think you can kick me out of the band?
Well, also I need a little backstory because he says in that the band is mine. Which did he start
I-
that vacancy in the?
I don't know. I
mean,
think
like, that's what
it's just like I think
we're led to believe.
Dewey is also kind of just like I think he thinks
Narcissist?
it's like he's a narcissist. He probably thinks he's better
I
than
know
he really is, and he
Yeah.
thinks he's better than everybody else in the
when they
band.
kicked him out, that I brought
Um,
us all together, and they didn't really argue.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say I brought us all together. So then we cut to lunch, and the two groupies are like suggesting names. They say the bumblebees, and he's like no, koala bears, and I was like no, it's too cute. And then Miss Mullins approaches, and Dewey starts talking to her, and then they say, "What about pig rectum?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a science experiment, or it's a science project, or whatever." And then Dewey gets introduced to the rest of the faculty, and I don't know if this isn't the later scene, but do they talk to him? Oh yeah, he says something like, and they're like, I think that's a song, and he's like, no,
Yeah, he's talking about. I don't know.
I can't remember exactly
I know
what
the
he says.
song, but children will lead the way.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like saying his philosophy
Yeah.
on teaching. Oh, what's that song?
They're practicing. They go back to the classroom. They're practicing music. He's like, Zach is all stiff, so he's like, loosey goosey, baby.
Grease those joints.
Then he, what?
Grease those joints.
Yeah. It's like the little like Tin Man like greasing the joints. And then he assigns music, and he's like Blondie for Blondie, And he gives yes to Lawrence, and he's like, listen to the piano on Roundabout, and I was like, Roundabout.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's Michael.
It's a JoJo reference.
It's JoJo. It's a JoJo reference. Everything's a JoJo reference, Michael. He gets a Rush album to Freddie. Neil Peart, greatest drummer of all time. Jimi Hendrix for Zach. Zach's kind of like, up, Zach. And then Tamika approaches him. She doesn't want to be a roadie, and he's like, he wants to be a singer, and he's like, well, sing for me. And she doesn't want to do it, and he's like, I can't let you be a singer if you don't sing. And then she fucking kills it. What does she sings Amazing Grace. No, she sings
No.
Aretha
Oh,
Franklin,
yeah.
right? Yeah, or a change. And he gives her a Pink Floyd album. We cut to the next day. Zach's dad dropping off at school. He's like, no, don't play music till after your homework and your other chores. And he's like, and no rock music, only whatever your music teacher. It's like his dad's a real big time jerk. When I was looking at trivia for the movie, one of the trivia facts was that all of the parents drive Volvos. Every parent in this movie drives a Volvo, apparently.
Well, how many times do we see the parents?
I mean, probably just like his car, and then like the few times where it shows them like dropping off in the morning and picking. I guess Volvos are real hot in upstate New York, you know.
Mean parent car.
Yeah. So then he like wants them to be inspired, so he tells the class to get mad at the man. He's like, I'm the man. We get the classic, you're a fat loser and you have body odor.
You're fat loser and your body odor.
And then then it's over, and then Billy says something, or he's like, and then Billy's like, you're tacky and I hate you, or whatever. He's like, see me after class. And then he's just like, we get the I didn't get no allowance today, and now I'm really ticked off, because he's asking what makes them all ticked off, and then he's like, what would you say to a bully? He's like getting all up in Zach's face, and Zach's like, step off, and then step off, step off,
Step off! Step off! They're all so like,
yeah, they're all just like,
step off!
yeah.
Step off!
Then it cuts to lunch, and it's like Dewey's telling a story, and he's like, I almost made it on the Philharmonic, but I lost it to Yo-Yo Ma's cousin, Lil Nepotiz, which did not get at all when I was 8 years old or whatever. I didn't know what nepotism was at all.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I need to ask Amelia if she knew nepotism, because my friend who loves this movie actually named her cat Lil Nep after this Lil Nep his quote. But I don't know at what age she was, like if she knew what nepotism.
It's kind of a cute name if you just go Lil Nep.
Yeah, it was always
Yeah.
Lil
Office.
Nep.
Oh, you say you learned it through The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we get the, he's those who can't do teach, those who can't teach Jim. All the teachers love it. God, he's so funny. Zach comes up and says that was a really cool lesson, and then Dewey, hell yeah, dog. Then we get like a cool montage of like the band practicing, and I think there's like, yeah, they're all practicing, and then it's like it shows Zach at home like playing. Was earlier when he was telling him to be less stiff? Was that when he showed him like the power
Yeah,
and like
when he
the
was doing
pointing?
the loosey-goosey
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
And then like Zach's doing that at
flying
home.
guitar. That thing is just so big.
Yeah. And then Summer's reading like a music business book or
Yeah.
something. Then they're in the teacher's lounge. All the teachers in the teacher's lounge, and Miss Mullins comes in and tells them parent night's coming up. All the teachers talk about. They're like, oh yeah, the time Miss Mullins got drunk and sang Stevie Nicks or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I guess that like Dewey gets a little idea. They sneak out to go audition for the Battle of the Bands. Freddie runs off, and Dewey's like, oh my god, out in like a van playing like cards with some other. And then They go back and they can't audition because it's full. They all go outside. Dewey goes back in, or Summer has the
Yeah,
idea. It's
it's
Summer's idea. And Dewey goes back inside, and he's like, I volunteer at the hospital at what is it, like at Los Margaritas or something. And he's like, they got like it's terminal. They got stick it to the mun, neosis.
Never heard of it.
Classic. Never heard of it.
You're lucky.
Um.
Then the kids are just sitting over there coughing and acting like they're dying.
Yeah, they're all like pretending to be dead or
Just, like,
whatever,
laying face
coughing,
down.
and then Freddy's like laying on the ground.
Yeah, he's just laying in the street.
And then the guy like lets them come in. Then Jack Black Dewey goes back outside. Like, yeah, we did it, and they're all cheering. He's like, no, you're supposed to be dying, and then they're all like, oh yeah, and they cough, and then Freddy falls back on the floor. We get back to class. I think all the kids are practicing. Like Jack Black is like strumming his guitar or something.
Mhm.
And the groupies come up and they're like, we came up with a name. He's like School of Rock. And then like Dewey like sings a little song. And
School of Rock.
Mullins, or they're like, the security team is like, oh, Mullins is coming, and they put everything away. And Mullins comes in and she's like, the other teacher said she heard music. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's his guitar.
What's that?
And he's like, oh, that? He's like, oh, I try to use it to like teach the more boring subjects. And then she wants to sit in, and then he like shows off his methods, and he's like singing, and he's singing math, and he's like, math is a really great thing. He does this thing, and he's like, what is it? What's
Off your
the
ass.
45 minus 54 or whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
No, it's 8.
Yeah, and she's like,
That's
no,
right.
it's
I was just
not."
testing you.
It's 9.
That's a
That's a magic
magic
number. So great.
Well, I also-
-1.
He also said, like, I love when he's singing. He says, "Get off your ass, let's do some
Yeah, get off
math."
your ass. That's so good. You have to think that like that had to have been like Jack Black had to have improv.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like it would have seemed way too fake if it wasn't improv. I don't know.
I'd love to see how much of this movie was improv.
Mhm.
Like, I want to next time I go to Rome, I want to get I have this movie on DVD, and I want to watch the behind the scenes stuff, like, because I'm sure it's
Well,
That's
great.
gonna be awesome.
I watched it on DVD, and I didn't watch all the behind the scenes, but there was like when they played the immigrant song when they were coming back from getting the spot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like to get Zeppelin to let them play that song.
Oh yeah.
Jack Black like recorded a video basically begging them to do it. Like he had the crowd at the end of the movie.
Yeah, the crowd was like cheering him, and he was like begging them. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that like Led Zeppelin was like so like, not. They don't really give out the rights to their music so much, but it's like, this scene, close second to best scene of an use of immigrant song, only shortly after Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, they use that twice.
Yeah. So yeah, like I forgot about him singing the immigrant song. It's great. I saw that where like he like sent a video like asking to use it, and then like years later, I think in 2012, I want to say it was during like the Obama administration, I think at one of the like presidential like honors things, like Jack Black introduced Led Zeppelin at, like as they were awarded like some, I don't know what the award was, but like he introduced the remaining members of like Led Zeppelin, like a full circle thing.
That's one where Hart sang "Stairway to Heaven," I think, and it was a ridiculous rendition of that.
Oh yeah. Then afterwards, Dewey asks Mullins if they want to go get she wants to go get coffee, and she's like, yeah. They end up at a bar, and they both get beer, and she's like, you sure you don't have coffee? And he's like, yeah.
Yep.
She drinks a little bit, and she's just like not into it. And then Dewey's like, I'm gonna go put on some music, and he puts on Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Like, I love this song.
What a
Classic song.
coincidence.
So yeah, Mullins has had like what 4 sips of beer, and she's feeling it.
Yeah.
She's tippy.
And she like, sips it. She's like,
Yeah. she's sipping like a hot thing of coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's tippy. Dewey convinces her to let him take the kids on a field trip. Says it's like classical music. Says it's the Philharmonic. Then we cut back to the class. Billy shows off the outfits, and it's like very extravagant. And then Billy's jokingly saying like, "Oh, they can just wear the uniforms," and Dewey's like, "No, it's genius or whatever," and he's like, "Oh, I was just joking." And then we find out that Zach's playing something, and Dewey's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just a little something I wrote." Then Zach plays teacher's pet, right? And yeah, they're like, Dewey ends up singing it, and then he's like, "Oh, you mind if I do a little solo here?" And he like hums out a solo, which is like the exact solo he ends up doing later.
Yeah.
I love that part because it, like, I feel like that scene is just really. They're actually a band.
Yeah.
They're other stuff, and that's what Dewey says. He's like, "This is learn each other."
no more secret song.
That's the point when they're a real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we cut back to the apartment, and Dewey is getting ready for teacher's night. Oh yeah, so Mullins asked Dewey if she'll go with him to teacher's night. Yeah, parents' night. Sorry, parent teacher night, whatever. So Dewey's getting ready for that, and Ned gets a check from the school, and he's like, "I've never taught there," and he starts to dial a number, and Dewey runs and like presses the call button or whatever.
Hangs up the phone.
Yeah, hangs up the phone. It's pre iPhone. He comes clean, and then he just like asks him for like one day, because like the next day is the Battle of the Band, and Ned's like, "Oh, I don't know," and then Patty comes home, and Dewey's just like, gotta keep it quiet. Then Dewey picks up Miss Mullins, and they pull up to the school, and Dewey's like trying to tell her, he's like, "Oh, I'm not a teacher, like I'm a fraud," like he just thinks he's like nervous because he's a substitute.
So speaking of phones, it's really interesting. So like at the beginning of the movie, there's someone who's texting on a cell phone, and it's like this ugly ass like full keyboard
like the side
phone.
flip
yeah,
phone.
and they're using like the hugest text possible on them. It's like, what is this monstrosity? It's just crazy how long ago that was.
Yeah, I definitely
Probably
saw
like
that,
T9.
but I just didn't even think.
Yeah, 2003, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at parent night. Dewey's just like trying to tell all the parents that their kids are awesome.
Like, supposed to be teaching him like what he's a lot of math, social studies, world culture, naming.
And then he says math again. Yeah.
Did I already say that one?
And then, and then he's like just telling them about their kids. He's like, then like we see like a police officer shows up outside, and he's like getting all nervous. And then he's just like trying to tell like, oh, like Zach's like a really good guitar player. He can sing and like all this stuff. And then like police come in there, and then
I
like
think like Zach's mom is
they're
like,
like-
"Officer, what's the matter? Like, what's the problem or something?"
yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, this isn't Ned Schneebly. This guy is." And then like, and then I don't know all the exact words, but the thing he says is, "I've been touched by your kids, and I'm pretty sure I've touched them."
Yeah. And then they're just like,
And, all the-
Everyone's
Yeah.
face is just
Yeah.
yeah.
horrified.
and then he runs out.
Like every time.
Really, I rewatched it today, and it's been a while since I've actually seen it, so it's been really weird as like an adult watching this movie about
Right.
Yeah.
kids around one grown adult and the way he says things. It's like a little
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean, so every time I watch it, I'm always just like, all I had to do is just say like, "No, I didn't mean it like that," and then like clear that up before they all just think that he's just like,
Yeah. But also like in that context, like obviously that's not what he meant. Like,
right.
Yeah. He's
You
going
know,
on and talking
2003 is a
about
different
great there
time.
and stuff, and yeah. But it's
you know,
funny.
2003, different time. 2 years post 9/11. You know.
Oh.
So yeah, so he runs out, and then we get back to the apartment, and then both Patty and Ned are like, "I have nothing to say to you." And then Ned says that like Dewey should move out, and then we get to the next day. The kids are at school. They're like, you know, we still got to put on the show.
Not only are all the kids, all of their parents.
Yeah, they're all at the
like,
school like
chewing
yelling
Mullins
at Miss
out.
Mullins. Yeah. So the kids decide that they're gonna go play the show. They're like, they go get on the bus, and the bus driver's like, "Where's Mr. Schneebly?" He's like, "Oh, he didn't tell you to pick him up at his house." And then so they go, and I guess like one of the other teachers walks in the classroom and just like notices they're gone.
No, I think it's their teeth.
But I don't know if it's I think it's probably another sub.
I don't think it is a sub. At least in the.
Oh, did it say like she was?
It said it had their teacher's name in
Oh.
the credits.
I
I don't know. Maybe not, but.
So yeah, she just runs out screaming. Like she doesn't just immediately go to the principal's office, like screaming like help, like where are the kids or whatever. And then Miss Mullins sees her, and then she like goes back to the office and tells the parents. She's like, kids are missing. The kids wake up Dewey.
They get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wake Freddie and who else are inside,
Zach.
like
I
kicking
think
him
it's
to wake him
Freddie
up.
and Zach.
Yeah, and they wake him up, and then he's like, look outside, and then all the kids are outside like waving at him to get on the bus, and he like leaves, and then as they're leaving, they pass Ned and Patty, both just like, oh, like, what are you doing? Crazy.
But Ned immediately turns.
Yeah, Ned's like getting ready to leave, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the show, and she's like, what? And he's like, and she's just like yelling at him like, oh, one day you'll need to stick up for yourself, and he just like walks out like
Yeah.
as she's
She
saying
said,
that.
"One day you'll stop being such a pushover," and he just like.
Got some rock.
Great character growth from Ned.
Love.
Um,
Also, so when we were watching it after it went up, like right when they're waking up, you said, "How did they get in his house?"
Oh,
and
yeah.
then immediately they were like, "The door was unlocked. We just walked right in."
yeah.
It's like you and Dewey are thinking.
Yeah,
the
no,
same
yeah.
thing.
I was like, how'd they get in his house? And then immediately afterwards, Dewey was like, how'd you get in my house? I was like, oh, I should have just waited like 5 seconds.
Dewey Roberts.
Dewey is like, we should play Zach's song, but it's not my decision, like, for a band, and they all like vote to play his song. And then he's like, let's pray or whatever. And he's like, dear rock gods or whatever. The parents try to get in, and the guy's like, you need a ticket. So they're all like, let's buy a ticket. And they all push their way up to the front of the show, and then we get, you know, most iconic movie scene of all time, probably. Full rendition of Teacher's Pet.
Yeah.
I love their
It's-
outfits.
Yeah, it's so good.
Their
Like,
modified uniforms.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't like tear up, but I feel like I could have. Like, I feel like it's just such a good
you get
moment.
chills
Like,
during that point.
it's like a full, like, you know, the kids, like, they all rock it. Lawrence's dad is like, your kid
Yeah, he says to Zach.
your kid is
he's
very
like,
skilled. Like,
"Your
thanks,
son
you
is very
too.
skilled."
Yeah, watching that
Um,
part was like, damn, I haven't been to a live show in like so long. I think the last concert I
Yeah.
went to was like Tool, but I wasn't really like on the ground level for it, so I didn't like. I really do like concerts. It's like one of the only times I like enjoy being around groups of people, and it just was like, damn,
Yeah.
I wish I could be at another concert right now, but
Mhm.
can't right now because of all the garbo that's going on. Yeah.
Dewey finally gets his stage dive, and the crowd catches him. It's that whole song is just so good. Oh, I forgot about the part before they go on, Tamika's like, "Oh, I can't sing. Like, what if they make fun of me?"
Oh yeah, that was like
Or is
before
that
the
way
audition.
before? Yeah, before the audition.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
He says
I'm
like,
fat.
and I'm a big guy, but when I get on stage, they worship me.
Yeah, and he says, "Cause I'm sexy," but he says that to a fourth
Yeah.
grader.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
fat.
that's
and
like
I'm
another thing. It's like
sexy.
you don't realize
Yeah.
how like terrible some of these
But it's
things are
yeah,
until you watch it as an adult.
yeah.
All in good fun.
They like the parents all loved it. Mullins loved it. I mean, she's still furious, but she loved it.
I'm furious.
Then
I'm furious. Just running in 3 minutes.
No Vacancy ends up winning. You know, big bummer. But the whole crowd is just like, what? Like school. They start chanting School of Rock, and then
I always like my favorite part on that is always when like Ned when he chimes in with the chant, he's just like School of Rock. He's just like so awkward with
School
his.
of Rock.
It's like
Yeah.
so quiet and feeble.
It's
like,
just it's so hard to see Ned as the cross-dressing satanic sex god.
Yeah. Or Megadeth.
But
I feel we need a flashback.
Yeah, I would love like a prequel.
What's
we
funny is like I've been
um,
playing Yakuza, and there's like a side quest where you're helping out a band who's like a bunch of punk band guys, but none of them are into punk. They're like very straight laced gentlemen. So you're like trying to convince them to say these certain things. I was just like, that's what it reminded me of. I was like, that's funny because like just because of how they look doesn't mean that's like actually reflect or how they look doesn't like reflect their current personality or how the personality is in general.
Yeah. Yeah, so No Vacancy wins. Dewey is just like upset. He's like, "Oh, you didn't hear we didn't win." And they're like, "It's not about winning. It's to put on a rockin' show." And he's like, "We did do that, didn't we?" And there's the crowd's chanting School of Rock. Then they're like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, they want an encore." So they go back on stage. Then they start to play.
Whenever they do that, like they all run out, and he's like, "No, no, no, no!" Like just the band, and he's like, "All right, everybody can go." And then they all run out. It's like Frankie and like all the
Groupies, roadies, security,
Who's the
everyone.
white kid that like does the
Is Gordon? Was that his name, Gordon, or was that the other? Was that the redhead kid? I think Gordon was the.
yeah,
white.
yeah, I think it's Gordon because he like puts on like the show like live, like he's like I don't have the files, I don't have the
Yeah.
whatever, and then he's like
The lights for the other song.
yeah for the other song.
Yeah, he
I
kills
guess-
it.
Okay.
Yeah, they start to play "Long Way to the Top." If you want to rock, is that the full name of the? Is the full name of the song? It's "The Long Way to the Top." If you want to rock and roll,
I couldn't tell you.
"Long Way to the Top." I don't know. They start to play that. It cuts to after school program called School of Rock that Dewey has started, and all the people playing it. And then the credits roll.
Breaks the fourth wall.
They're playing the song. Everybody gets their little like solo part, and then we get the fourth wall break.
Also, during it, it cuts to Ned teaching.
Oh yeah, Ned's teaching like young,
6-year-olds,
yeah, like
like-
young
Funny.
kid.
It's like, he's blending his two worlds:
Yeah.
his love of music and his teaching.
Yeah, we get the fourth wall break where the girl.
So, yeah.
Over.
But we're still on screen.
Then that's it. That's School of Rock.
You know, they didn't really give the bassist much. You know, I felt kind of upset about that just because bassists can do some
This is
cool
okay.
stuff, and they didn't do anything for her really.
Especially when you're a classically trained cello player.
Maybe she wasn't great at bass. Like maybe she could play a bit, but didn't really have the.
Well, I don't know, cause like, so me and Laurel, after we watched the movie, we watched like the little video, like the 10-year reunion thing they did, and like she did like a bass solo there, and it was like pretty good. Like everybody was like actually like played their instruments and like did it really well. I don't know, maybe yeah.
When I was younger watching it, like she was totally. I guess she was the only girl like,
Yeah, she
in
the
the actual
main-
band. Such a cool.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I thought Freddie was so cool. It was like, you know, it was before, cause like, just cause like, I mean, then I ended up doing like percussion, like in band and
Because you
stuff.
couldn't play anything.
Freddie.
else.
Freddie Jones, shut
Shut
up.
up.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Like it's still, like I've seen I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. hundreds of times. I still love it. It still holds up. It's still just like a wonderful movie to watch.
I've seen it enough
It's
times
just,
to
I don't
where
know.
I mean I didn't get a chance to watch it like today or yesterday. So I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in years, but I still, as you've been going along, I can literally picture every scene and
Yeah.
pretty much do all the quotes because I mean I can quote most of that
It's
movie.
so quotable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of the more quotable movies I know, like that I've seen. That I
So you
It's-
didn't mention the part that was slightly
Oh
horrifying.
yeah, I forgot about Spider
Spider
Oh yeah.
the
with
when
his
he's
like
in his weird little collar shirt.
his
It
vampire
was like
shirt
just like
Yeah, I don't
sleeves
know.
and his
Weird
like
wear
his
that.
like
His-
his like sternum
down.
tattoo and his stomach tattoo that says sex.
And his pants are so low. This
Peak
was
male performance.
why
Yeah.
was I allowed to see this?
And
as
he's a district
9-year-old?
attorney. Like
And his weird little like gyrating
yeah,
movement.
and
He's
he's
like
like
dancing in a
and
circle.
he's got the guitar like on his crotch. Like
Wait,
Yeah, I
is
didn't
it
like that.
after the show?
And he hits
It's
on
like after the show and
Mullins.
he's sitting on Mullins and he's like, yeah,
are you in the
hot,
band?
you're
And he's
so
like,
hot.
I'm the principal.
Oh,
God, so-
What?
What?
Are you?
What?
are you warm right now?
Yeah.
It is quite warm.
Great performance from Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Great performance. Like everybody, like this is probably the first time I ever, like first thing I ever saw Sarah Silverman in.
Yeah,
Like,
it was really weird because like I didn't. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I didn't really realize it was Sarah Silverman. And like, I've seen other stuff with her in it, and she's not really
Yeah.
in any serious roles from
yeah.
what I've seen. So when I rewatch, it's like, damn, I wouldn't. I don't know. She played some very serious role that didn't really like click with me, and it was like really weird to me.
Got a
Didn't she
killer
voice
New
somebody
York
in
accent.
Scooby Doo? At like some point, wasn't she like Velma or something like that? I'm probably making that up.
No, you're thinking of the girl from Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, well, she was live action, or was she also the voice actor?
I don't know. I mean, she's been. I mean, she was in. She was the girl in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman. Yeah, she had her own show on Comedy.
49. I didn't realize that. Anyway,
Yeah, appreciate
No,
the rock songs a lot more now that I'm into rock.
now that you're a dad rock guy,
Yeah, loud and proud, baby.
Yeah, I didn't really listen to.
I didn't know-
all of that when I was.
I didn't know what
9 years
Motorhead
old.
was when
Yeah.
I was in 3rd grade. I didn't know like who Black Sabbath was or like who the Immigrant Song was.
Yeah.
I appreciate the soundtrack and
Yeah.
I saw it.
But it's like now I obviously like realize like why my parents were like fine with watching it. 'Cause, like, oh, like that was the music they listened to.
I don't really remember my parents.
Yeah, I know that like I definitely feel like my dad has watched that movie. Yeah, it's such a good movie. It's a classic. Like, you know, I think it's definitely gonna be one of those movies that like goes like it's gonna stay like a classic forever. Like I don't see it like aging out. Like unless like something comes out that somebody in the movie is like a terrible person or something. But,
Yeah,
like,
because I mean, there's nothing other than like the. There's nothing that really dates
yeah.
kind of like time.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think the only bad thing that's come up from most from the actors is like what Dylan was saying in our group chat was that the guy who played Zach, he was like arrested like last year sometime for trying to steal guitars.
hey, man, at least he's still keeping the dream alive, though.
You know what
At
happened?
least
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
He was sticking it
Um,
to the
Long way to
man.
the top.
like-
my friend.
What?
It's a long way to the top.
Yeah, you're right.
True. But it's like this movie just cements like Jack Black is like he's so like multi-talented.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's a great musician, like hilarious.
Have you-
He just
You
seems
seen
like
his national anthem performance?
No, I don't think so. But
He-
I'm sure it's
He sang
amazing.
the national anthem. I think it was NBA, and it's just like he didn't do like anything crazy. It's just like he just has such a powerful voice. Like you need to listen
Yeah.
to it. I'll send a link to it because it's honestly one
mean,
of
he
the best.
li- I
It's one of the
mean,
best national anthems. For
in-
sure.
In that what is it tribute in Tenacious D? He says, "My voice is Powerful.
That's Master Exploder, I think.
Yeah, it's Master Exploder.
I
We should watch
with,
Tenacious D sometime too.
yeah,
That's a great
with
movie.
Jack Black, I could kind of see where Luke gets some of his mannerisms because Luke will do the guitar sounds and stuff to like songs, like even just in regular chats.
Oh yeah, I mean I do that all the time. Yeah, like it's just I don't know. Jack Black seems like a really cool guy to hang out with. Like
I would.
he
love
just
to
seems
meet
like a
him.
good kind of guy that would be fun to just like grab a beer with, just like hang out, you know.
Yeah.
Super.
He's a YouTuber now, but maybe we can get him on here
Have you watched
sometime.
have you watched any of his gaming videos? Just like playing like Red Dead and stuff. He just like
Jablinski, like what is it, like Jablinski plays or whatever?
Jablinski.
Yeah, I should hit him up sometime. Maybe we get him on here when we watch Tenacious
And he
D.
seems like he's like a really friendly
Cameo.
dude. Like even the kids, like the whole thing. The only reason I think he did Jablinski games is because his son likes to play games and
Yeah.
his son's into streamers and stuff.
Yeah.
So he wanted to do that.
Yeah, and he I think he immediately had like 3 million subscribers.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
like a day. Like he just
I'm
put up like a
sure.
teaser. He was like, "I'm gonna start doing games. Jablinski, get ready." And then just like it took forever for him to actually put anything up, and then he did, and just immediately just millions and millions of people and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
just it's got to be so nice to have that much fame to where like I mean you can just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel," and just immediately get
Yeah.
2 million subscribers because that's X amount more money. I mean, you know, he could start streaming and making a ton of money off that and just doing whatever he wants. I mean, Jack Black
Yeah, I feel
adding
like
would be fantastic.
Jack Black is just one of those guys that just has like he just has like clout. Like he could do anything. Like
like the age differential. between
oh
the
yeah.
kids. So I mean,
Like-
obviously they're all in the same class. So there's Freddie was
Yeah.
like 15.
Miranda Cosgrove was 10.
He
Who's the
turned 10
youngest?
right before the release. Like while they were
Girl was
filming,
like
Oh, so
she
she
was
was, like,
18 or
9.
something. Like I think she was kind of old. I think the girl on bass. I mean, because she was like 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
looked old.
yeah.
Like she was definitely older than 10-year-old Miranda Cosgrove.
Freddie, it's funny because Freddie doesn't look like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did this movie win any awards? I forgot to check.
If it didn't,
It was nominated for several awards, including it received a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor in Comedy or Musical, but he lost to Bill Murray for Lost in Translation.
Dang.
2004, the film won Best Comedy Film at the British Comedy. So apparently there was like for a while there was talks of there being a sequel, but it fell through and like
Got the
never.
show.
It's just,
We got the show.
yeah, we got the hit Nickelodeon show. It's kind of cool, like, you know, so this movie started out as a really good movie and then made a really bad Nickelodeon show, and the movie we're doing next week was a really good Nickelodeon show that made a bad movie.
They didn't
So-
actually make the movie though. That's just a
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it's weird that we're all just gonna have the same fever dream at the same time, and then we're gonna talk
about
about
as
it.
if there was a movie that was so bad. As if there wasn't any source material at all.
I'm so excited.
Source material. I hardly know her.
No.
The girl that played Katie was actually
37 years old.
no, she was like less
Really, she was 11 years old.
Mature.
than 10 or 11.
Yeah, I mean, girls do
She's just
mature faster
tall.
than.
I mean, like in the like forward video. Oh, she's just
Yeah,
a
she's tall.
person.
Rebecca Brown.
Yeah, they could make a prequel called Preschool Rock.
Good
I
one.
hated that.
Baby Wiggles.
She looks exactly the same as an adult.
I know.
Like, they all like watching that like 10-year reunion thing. Like, they all look exactly the same. Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
The 10-year
5'9",
reunion was
so
almost 10 years
that's
ago.
tall for a lady.
Yeah, 5'9's pretty. I mean, that's like a little. That's like an inch or two shorter than me.
I feel like that's tall. I mean,
Yeah, I
no,
mean
feel
that's
like that is tall.
yeah, for sure.
I was an idiot just now, and you said 5'9" was 2 inches shorter. And for a second, I was thinking that there were 10 inches in a foot, and I was like, Evan's 6'1".
Oh yeah, baby. Call God. But I guess, yeah, I mean, and you guys, does anybody else
Wait,
have anything
School
else?
of Rock Snellville? What is that?
It's like a School of Rock. It's this. It's
In
the.
Snellville?
There's like a School of Rock, like an actual like program. Like, I guess there's one in Snellville.
Why wasn't I in this?
Does anybody else have anything to say about the movie other than that you like really? I mean, like, I don't have any criticisms of this movie. Like,
I was
there's
trying to find like a critical.
mean,
I need a critical review because I see nothing bad about it.
yeah, but it's also, I mean, like, cause like, you know, I watched it as a child, so now when I watch it, it's just like
Perfect.
nostalgia, like.
But it's still like, I mean, it really is still that good of a movie. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like 2 weeks in a row, I'm like, should have gonna do a 9.5 again, you know. But luckily, we have next week to give it a negative.
Oh yeah, next week we're taking the gloves off next week. We're not only doing great movies. We
Yeah,
gotta sprinkle in
Just
some
power
bad
through the
ones.
plot, so that way we can just grill it for 30 minutes.
So
I mean, the plot is gonna be easy because it's gonna be like, oh, they just took the first season of the show and they ignored it, and then that's the plot.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna be doing Last Airbender, are we gonna be doing Dragon Ball
Gotta
Evolution?
do- I was just gonna say we gotta do.
We can do Dragon Ball Evolution too. Should we just do like we should just do live action anime adaptations because they're all garbage, and
I'm trying to think what else.
you'd think they would at this point they would
No,
stop trying to
Detective
make
Pikachu
like
was a good
live
movie.
action.
That was-
I haven't seen it. I do need to watch that. Now that I have HBO, I need to watch it. That's
I
different
saw it.
because that's not
Good
like
I
movie.
saw it with Luke.
Yeah, I saw it with Michael and
That-
Anthony in theaters.
that's a little different though because it's not like they didn't like. I mean, they did adapt Pokemon, but it's like it's the original story.
Yeah, it's not
Like
they
I mean, I guess
tried
the
to adapt
game.
something that's already been.
Yeah,
technically
I mean,
been
it
out.
isn't just ignored source material.
Like Dragon, yeah, like Avatar, like the Last Airbender is terrible, but like I sat through it. I mean, I also saw it in theater, so I wasn't just gonna get up and leave. But like Dragon Ball Evolution, like I don't know if I've ever actually watched the whole thing.
I couldn't do it. I was like I went in knowing that it was a bad movie, and I got about 40 minutes in, and I was just like I don't think I've ever just not been able to finish a movie because it's so bad. I mean, of course, I've like not finished movies before because I had to like do something else, but I don't think I've ever just been like, this movie is so bad that I can't finish it, and stopped
Yeah.
it. So I will watch the whole thing for next week, next week.
Yeah, if we do it the next week. I know we might have to do a good movie after we watch Last Airbender, so we don't want to like die. Yeah, we could do Spirited Away. Michael never.
I just want to.
I did just do a
Laurel's never
subscription
seen
to HBO Max for a little bit, so I'll watch it.
I could
Dragon Ball or is
so-
on HBO?
The
Spirited Away is on
Spirited
HBO.
Away.
All the Ghibli, well, not all the Ghibli movies, but like the main, like the top tier Ghibli movies are on.
Sub for like a month
Yeah.
then watch all this.
So Laurel's never seen Avatar, and I
I
kind of
didn't.
want to like make her watch The Last Airbender and then eventually watch the show so that like she can see the bad before she sees the good. So she like, I don't know.
the show.
What if I like
is
the
really
movie?
good.
You might, I mean, not seeing the show, you might enjoy the movie, but then you see the show and be like, oh, the movie was hot trash.
Yeah.
Or you'll be like, the show sucks. The movie was so much better.
Yeah, but what if that's my opinion?
Why are they saying Ong's name so weird in the
That's
show?
my opinion. I do know that it's
The show's really good. Like I would really recommend anyone watching it, especially like with today's like political climate and stuff. Like it's got a lot of
Yeah, it's-
Watch it. I didn't really.
crazy
there
how
was a lot
topical
of,
it
like
is.
commentary of like social commentary kind of stuff that like.
I mean, in the first 5
watched it.
minutes of the first episode, sorry, there's a fire truck screaming by my
I heard
apartment.
Fire Nation attack.
In the first, in the first like 5 minutes of the first episode, like Katara yells at Sokka for being misogynist. She's like, "You were the most misogynistic." Like, like damn, this was a kid show.
There's a
on
ton of like
Maybe I should
gender role
watch it.
stuff. There's a ton of like. I
It's
mean,
really-
I mean,
it's really
Fire
good.
Nation is basically like white supremacists. You know, I mean, they're just like,
Yeah, they're fascist, like for sure.
and so it's it's good.
Fascists.
I mean, it's a very mature show. Korra is super good too. Korra's like it's intense. Like it is the last episode of the first season was stressful. It was good.
I need to watch Korra. I've never actually seen it.
Good.
But yeah, that was School of Rock.
9.5.
Next week will
9 out of
be
10.
yeah. I I guess I'm gonna do another 10 out of 10 just because I'm, perfect movie.
As a child, I would say 10 out of 10, but now I realize how. So I'm just gonna give it a 9 out of 10 just because Dewey's.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
that's my only criticism.
I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because it's School of Rock and not School of Hip Hop. So
Wow.
they should redo it, but it should be Kanye focused.
Ugh.
Speaking of, so I did see this. So you know how they did that like Beatles movie or whatever.
Andre 3000, Book of 3000, whatever show, like the end.
That'd be dope as like a movie.
Oh.
Like
Well, I mean, yeah,
Overall.
like they had the animated show,
yeah,
Class of 3000.
Class of 3000. Yeah. We should do that Beatles movie sometime. The Yesterday or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen it.
Wait,
Huh?
Across the Universe?
No, Yesterday, the one that came out like 2 years ago or whatever. It's that dude that like he gets hit by a bus and then he wakes up and like the Beatles just never existed or whatever.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
he makes it big off of just like redoing Beatles music.
Yeah.
But I saw like
because that's also a great.
I've never
Is
seen
that
that.
an isekai?
What?
It's an anime term for like all
Yeah, he goes to
the
different
protagonist
levels.
like dies or gets transported to a new like alternate reality or something like that. So that
It checks out.
sorry,
Evan, say how it isn't an isekai.
It's not an alternate
It's not a
reality.
guy. What
It's
are
an
you
alternate
saying?
reality even though
It
both
is.
Beatles.
I don't know. I've never seen the movie. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's all fake. I don't know.
From what I understand,
I gotta feed Guinness real quick. Give me.
Laurel,
A sec.
she's a closet weeb, okay?
Yeah.
She loves anime. I'm exposing her.
I don't even.
I was gonna say
Can you name an anime? Like,
JoJo.
oh my god.
What do you mean?
Can you name another one?
Dragon Ball Z?
Okay,
Is
you
that
got.
an anime?
Yes,
Does that count?
it counts. I mean,
it
yes,
it
it
is
does
an
count, but like
I mean,
everyone's.
Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime.
That's true. Laurel had a Dragon Ball Z cake when she was 5.
hey,
For my 5th birthday.
freaking
Dragon Ball Z.
weeb. Jeez.
I don't think Michael's even had a Dragon Ball Z cake.
I didn't know what
I
it
don't
was.
think I have. I've had the toys, but never had a cake, so I'm a little jealous.
I didn't.
It was a
even know I
Dragon Ball
had it
Z
till, like, 2 years
gymnastics
ago.
cake.
That's funny.
Yeah, we were like looking at old pictures of Laurel's thing, like just old pictures of
Old
Laurel's that she
pictures.
had, and it was like a birthday cake, and I was like, wait a minute, those are Dragon Ball Z characters.
Never knew.
Rockman's in the chat, and he said JoJo.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't know what an. Oh, My Hero Academia.
Wow, that's a good one. That's topical. That's new.
Can you name an American anime?
I could tell you one.
Kappa Mikey.
King of the Hill.
That's the only American anime.
That's my favorite anime.
King of the Hill is a classic.
Yeah, I was gonna say since I've only seen like School of Rock like 2 or 3 times, I don't really have nostalgia glasses on for it. I enjoyed it, but I give it like
Oh, so it's a 12 out of 10.
an 8 out of 10.
I can't wait for us to watch Mr.
What
D, so I can
criticisms do you
talk
have
about
as
that.
someone who isn't nostalgic?
But it was fun. But you know, it was
It
just
was
there was
fine.
much unbelievable stuff in it. It was funny.
It was fine, he said.
It was fun.
Get out of here.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'll probably get
Sorry,
a
I don't
9
have
too.
nostalgia for it.
Go listen to Foreigner. They're not.
Spencer would have given it a higher rating if it had Kansas in it.
No.
I will
Kansas had
say,
one.
when I was watching it this last time, it's like, at what school did they not ID substitute?
Yeah.
Like that would, I mean, obviously that would crumble the entire. Like you can't even look at someone's
Also,
driver's
Especially
license.
if-
so what you were saying last night when we were watching it, he was like, what battle of the bands happens during a school, like in the middle of the
that
day?
too.
Like,
the auditions were like in the morning, and then the Battle of the Bands was in the morning, like at 9 o'clock in the.
And then the
What?
big show is
In
like
what world?
2 p.m. like top.
yeah. And they were at a bar, like, I mean, not that bars aren't open in the middle of the day, but like they
I
were
mean,
in
it
a
was, like,
packed, it was like a
3
packed
or
bar.
4.
Yeah, I guess it's like a happy hour or whatever, but just
Yeah, I want to know why Battle of the Bands was. the
no,
sun was up.
no
Before
bus driver would
lunchtime.
leave without a teacher.
Right.
Like,
Plot holes.
Yeah, this was a prep school too. Like, you would think like things would have been
Yeah.
a little bit more stricter on.
The
They
most
don't pay $15,000 a year.
for recess.
Yeah, that was a nice school though. Made me jealous.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, the I saw a thing that the school was like it was like a college in New York was like
Oh,
the
really?
campus of the school. Like, oh, it is a real school. It's just not a real elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess that about wraps it up for our School of Rock
Ghost.
discussion.
Get it?
You scared me. Hey, buddy.
You know, join us next week as we discuss the hit film Last Airbender.
It's something.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real. So, has everybody here seen The Last Airbender?
Like the
I
TV
have.
show?
Like the
Oh,
movie.
I've seen
I
the movie.
Never seen the movie.
So Spencer, you've never seen the movie, but you've seen the show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, watch it.
Okay, this will be fun. This will be really fun.
I'm excited for it.
I've seen the movie one time. I saw it in theaters when it first came out. It was probably the most disappointed I've ever been leaving a movie theater.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Not to put ideas in your head before you see it, but I'm pretty sure on the Wikipedia page it says it's widely regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. So this is gonna be fun, boys.
Pretty sure it's like
Um,
extremely whitewashed too.
I was
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
it
say
is.
that.
It's-
I was asking.
well, I mean,
Aang's actor's
it
name
is-
Noah.
Like, because I think the Katara actress is white, but also like, so like, in the show, the Fire Nation is like very heavily like Chinese influenced, but in the movie, like they make them like Indian, like I'm pretty sure Zuko is played by the dude that's in Life of Pi.
Is he really? Oh my gosh. It's been a long time.
But yeah, so thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. This episode was much shorter than last week.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys all Rodman said don't make me watch Last Airbender, please. Strap in, Rodman, because you're gonna watch it.
If you want to be part of the show,
Yeah, so join us next week as we strap in for the first probably hard watch of this show. Gonna be real fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time,
Rock on.
grab some popcorn.